Hello, welcome to Zigmatech Learning Hub. I'll be your instructor for government. For this class, we are going to be taking our exercises from the Examguide app. If you don't have the application already installed on your device, I want you to download the app in order to follow along in this class. Examguide is a leading educational app that helps students prepare adequately for various exams like UTME, post-UTME, WEAC, GCE, KCPE, IJMB, JUPEB, Calbipedia, BESE, SSCE, NCEE, NECO, etc. You can download the app from www.examguide.com or Google Play Store. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to be updated on new videos. Ready for today's class? Okay, let's get started. Today's class we're going to look at the fact that when you observe different political systems, you see that the practice of political parties or the operation of political parties and the organizations differs from one political system to the other. You may see that one political system may have only two political parties operating, another may have more than two. There are political systems that can have just one political parties operating. So this will lead us to the topic that we want to discuss today, which we refer to as party systems. Now, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to state the meaning of party systems, what it refers to, the types, discuss the types of party systems that we can observe in different political systems, and from this you should be able to know the type of party system practiced in your political system. Then discuss, analyze this party system by looking at the advantages and the disadvantages of each of the party systems we are going to discuss. Now, what is party system? What we refer to as party system? Now, party system refers to the arrangement for the existence and operation of political parties in a state or in a political system. We also call it the number or the existence of political parties permitted by the constitution of a state. Now, what we're saying is this has to do with how political parties operate, the number or the existence of political parties in a state. Now, we have different types of party system. Let's look at the first one, what we call one-party system. And what is this one-party system? We also call it single-party system. It's a party system where only one political party is officially recognized to operate, or one political party operates or dominates a political system. Example of one-party system can be seen in Socialist Party in USSR. During the time of Socialist Party, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, we had a one-party state. The Nazi Party, during the time of Adolf Hitler in Germany, operated a one-party state. The Fascist Party in Italy, under Benito Mussolini, operated a one-party system. So you see that one-party system basically operates in a totalitarian state, like communist state, fascist state, a Nazi state. These are the places you can see a one-party system. Now, one-party system has two types. We have the de jure one-party system, and this is where one party is allowed by the law to operate in a state. So the law of the state, the policy of the state recognizes only one political party, and therefore it is illegal for any other political party to operate in that state. We also have what we call de facto one-party state or one-party system. Now, de facto is where the law recognizes the operation or permits the operation of different political parties. It could be up to more than two political parties. However, in every election, you see that one party stands out and dominates the polity of the state. So when you have a situation where one political party dominates the polity of a state as if other parties do not exist in such state, we say that such state operates a de facto one-party system. So you see why the de jure one-party system, the law permits and recognizes or provides for a party system, a political party. That's, you can't operate more than one. While in de facto, the law permits other parties, but one party stands out and dominates the polity of a state. So that is one party, the meaning of one party system. So let's analyze one party system by looking at the merits of one party system, why some countries will decide to do or practice one party system. One is that there is less friction or disagreement between the executive arm of government and the legislature. Why do we see less friction? This is because the members of the legislature and members of the executive are coming from one political party, and they see each other as rivalry, and each of them will promote one particular manifesto of their party. So there is better cooperation and better synergy whenever you have a one-party system between the executive arm of government and the legislative arm of government. Number two is that this party system, one party, promotes unity, national unity. Why does it do that? Because it does not divide or lead to the division of members of the society into different parties or factions. It does not. Everybody has to follow and operate the ideology of the party. So by so doing, we have better national unity, where we have one party system. Where this system has been experimented, there is a very strong government. If you look at the government of Adolf Hitler in Germany, under a fascist party, Nazi party, the Benito Mussolini of Italy under the fascist party, Stalin under the Communist Party, the Socialist Party in Russia. If you look at this government, they were relatively strong. So we have stronger governments in such system. Then there is continuity in governance in a one-party state. Now, when we say, why do we say continuity in governance? Now, we have one party, and the party has a manifesto. So it means that any government emerging from this party will continue to operate the manifesto, the ideology of the party. So we're not going to have a situation where another people will come in, set of government will come in, and they begin to operate a different ideology and program. So we see better stability and continuity in governance in a one-party system. Then we have absence of unhealthy rivalry. Why do we say absence of unhealthy rivalry? This is because we don't have different parties. We don't have factional groups. Because of different parties, we don't have them. So because of that, we don't have unhealthy rivalry is reduced to barest minimum. Healthy rivalry, we're talking about things like electoral violence. Also, it is cheaper to operate. We say it is cheaper to operate for different reasons. One, in some political systems, the government gives grants to political parties to officially registered. So it means that in this case, the government will only give grant to one political party. The campaign this time will be less expensive because we're talking about just members of a particular political party. Also, you find out that in this system, there won't be much need to rig election, which at times cost politicians a lot. So there are many factors responsible for why this system is much cheaper. Now, let's look at the demerits, the problems, why this system, one-party system, is not really popular despite the advantages associated with it. Number one is the system operates on coercion, force. Where it has been experimented, you see that government uses force to make people or suppress people into the ideology of that party and the programs of the party. If you look at the government of Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, they used force. So force, use of coercion, is one of the problems of this party system. Then it does not provide alternative choice to the people. The people are limited in their choice to just the ideology and the manifesto of their of this one political party that operates in a state. So the people do not have alternative. So it limits alternative to the people. They are just limited to one choice. The third one is a limited political education. Political education is enhanced when citizens, the electorate, have to listen to the manifesto of this party, the campaign promises of this party, listen to this other party, listen to this other party. When they combine, they are enriched politically. But when you have just one party that are limited in the political education, then also there is limited political participation because you have to participate under one particular forum of a political party. So it limits, because some people, where you have this party, at times some people will display political apathy, not interested, especially if they are not in line with the manifesto and ideology of the party in power of that political party. They will shy away from political activities. It is an infringement on human rights. Why we say it's an infringement on human rights is that it limits what we call freedom of assembly and association by making it that everybody, for you to operate a political party, must be that particular party in power. So it's an infringement on human rights because people should have freedom of association to join any party of their choice. Then there is lack of accountability in government. The government may not account for its stewardship. The reason being that there is no opposition that can criticize and compel citizens and compel the government in power to give account of its duty. And the government in power knows that the party cannot be voted out of power. So they may not account. It is not also democratic, because when we talk about democracy, we must have political parties and not a political party. So it is not democratic because citizens don't also have choice. Then we have lack of opposition. For democracy to work effectively, there must be opposition party. There must be opposition that will serve as a watchdog to the government in power, to the party in power. So this party system lacks this opposition. Then there is lack of choice to the electorate. The electorate lacks choice because they are limited to one party. And also, it does not accommodate different views and ideologies. It does not, because it limits the people, the citizens, to one political ideology, the ideology of that party, which many people, many members of the society or the state may not be in consonant or in agreement with the ideology of the party. So these are the demerits, the problems associated with one-party system, and that is why it is not quite popular. Now, having discussed one-party system, let's look at another party system that we call two-party system. Now, when we say two-party system, what does it mean? Now, it's a political system where only two political parties exist and operate in a political system. Only two parties exist or operate in a political system. Therefore, we can group these two-party systems into the de jure two-party and de facto two-party. Now, a de jure two-party is where the law provides for just two political parties, recognizes only two political parties to operate. Example, Nigeria in the Third Republic recognized only, during the period of 1989, recognized only two political parties, the SDP and National Republican Convention. Now, if you go to, we also have de facto two-party system where the constitution or law permits more than two political parties to operate. You have different political parties, but only two parties dominate the political system. Example, if you go to United States, we say that yes, people recognize it as a two-party system, but it's a de facto two-party system because the Democrats and the Republicans are the dominant two parties. So we have other parties like even the Green Party. We have other parties in United States, but two dominate. In Britain, you'll see the Conservative and the Labour Party dominating the polity, but they are not the only parties that exist in such state. So this is two-party. Now let's analyze two-party system. The merits of two-party system. Let's look at the merits of two-party system. Number one is as enhanced political education through campaigns, because there will be vigorous campaigns from the two parties, and the people's political education will be more enriched. Even there are debates from the two political parties. Also, it eliminates the tendency for dictatorship, because there is opposition party, there is alternative to the citizens, of which if the party in power becomes dictatorial, they can, in the next election, vote them out. So it eliminates the tendency for dictatorship. Then it accommodates different shades of opinion. At least we have two political parties representing different ideologies or two ideologies. So it relatively accommodates different shades of opinion. Then it provides citizens with choice. Citizens are not, in this case, limited to one political party. They have alternative. So it provides them with choice, this or this. It also eliminates the problem of second ballot or runoff election. What do we mean by this? Now, when you have more than two political parties dominating the polity, at times where you have what electoral system that we call absolute majority, where a party has to win up to 51% of the vote cast, it may be difficult for one party to have that absolute majority. And what happens there? There will be second ballot or runoff election. But what we are saying here is that because we have two parties operating, you find out that one party will always get that, 51%. That is what we call majority, absolute majority, 51% of the vote cast. This kind of party system brings about strong opposition. Very strong opposition. See, very strong opposition in such party system. If you look at this is 2022, the current government in United States of America is from the Democrats. Its predecessor was the Republican. The other one was Democrats, Republican. So you see that you have stronger opposition, very strong opposition where you have two-party system. Then it promotes good governance from the party in power because there is a check of the opposition on the party in power. So because of that check, that watchdog role of the opposition, the party in power, we have no choice to do something that will make it to remain in power, and that is good governance. Now let's look at the demerits. What are the problems associated with two-party system? One, it narrows the choice of voters. It narrows because it limits the choice of voters to just two political parties, two manifestos, two ideologies. So it narrows their choice. It is also relatively expensive to operate, especially when you compare it with one-party system. One-party system is cheaper than the two-party system. Also, it discourages free development of political ideas and new associations. This is because we are talking about just two political parties. And when citizens are limited to these two political parties, it limits free development of new ideas, because all ideologies are subsumed into the ideologies of these two parties, and it does not give room for new political associations to be formed. Then also it narrows the choice of electorate, we have said it. Then it is expensive to operate when compared with one-party system. Then it discourages development of political ideas. It limits political participation. Limits political participation because we just have two political parties. So people can operate under these two political parties, and when we have citizens that are not in line with either of the ideologies of the two parties, they will shy away from taking part in political activities of their state. Then there is limited political education, because political education here is just the campaign, the promises, the manifesto, the debates of these two political parties. So it limits political education in the citizens. Now, let's look at the third type of party system. We call it multi-party system. And what is this multi-party system? It's a party system whereby more than two political parties, more than two political parties are allowed to operate in a political system. In Nigeria, you see such party system that we at times have up to 90 political parties. This is because more than two political parties are allowed to operate in such a system. Most countries of the world operate this multi-party system. Now, let's look at the merits of multi-party system. Let's analyze it. There is free development and expression of public opinion, free development of ideas and expression of public opinion, because people can form political parties based on their own ideologies and their own opinion. Then it gives that freedom of association. People can associate and join any political groups, unlike the one party and even the two party system. Then there are wider choices to the electorate. The electorate can make choice. At least they must see a political party program that is in line with what they believe in. So wider choices are available to the electorate. Also, there is competition, better competition on this system, because we have different political parties. So there is better competition, and because of that better competition, every party must come up with a program that must be attractive to the public. Also, we have existence of opposition parties, which is healthy for a democracy. They have it. Existence of opposition parties that we criticize. And of course, this time it's not only one opposition. The government in power will face the opposition of different political parties. So that will be a healthy democratic system. Also, there is adequate political education to the electorate. This is because people hear the party manifestos of different political parties, the campaign promises, the debates from different political parties. So it widens their horizon of political education. Then it accommodates different shades of opinion, because people form parties based on their opinions and ideologies. It discourages dictatorship. Why do we say it discourages dictatorship? That's because we have strong opposition, and the party in power can be removed at any time. That's during election if it didn't perform. So in such case, we cannot have dictatorship in such system. It's difficult to have it. Another argument for the multi-party system is that it is the most democratic of all the party systems. Democratic in the sense that it promotes that freedom of association, allows for the existence of opposition parties, allow wider choice to electorate, and better competition in the political system. Also, there is thorough check on issues raised in the parliament. It's one of the arguments for this multi-party system. What do we mean by thorough check on issues raised in the parliament? Now, when a bill, proposed law, is brought before the parliament, or there is a motion in the parliament, that's the legislature, these motion bills are thoroughly checked because it could be coming from a particular party or sponsored by a member of a particular party, which members of this party or that particular party tend to be biased or sentimental in looking at it, they will support. But when you have different parties, each of them, the opposition parties will be thorough in looking at the issues brought before the parliament so that they don't pass harsh laws or laws that do not make sense to the public. Now, let's look at the merits of multi-party system. What are the problems associated with this multi-party system? Number one is it polarizes and factionalizes the society, like the two-party system. It divides the society into members and fans of different political parties. So you see, these people will tell you, we are for this party. These ones will tell you, we are for this party. And at times, they don't see eyeball to eyeball each other. Then it is very expensive to operate. Why do we say it's very expensive to operate? This is because the government gives grants to recognized parties. Then the cost of election, because this time the competition is stiffer. The cost of campaign will be more expensive. Even the electoral material like ballot paper will cost more to print. Now, we have unhealthy rivalry and electoral violence. It's usual, you normally see this wherever you have multi-party system. You see unhealthy rivalry because chances of winning is slight, and electoral violence will follow. People will do rigging, electoral malpractices. You see irregularities in election because each party wants to win and control the government. Also, there is unchecked proliferation of weaker political parties or weak political parties. Whenever you have such a system, you see that there will be many political parties that will be operating, yet they don't have any ground, any structure, they don't have any member in all the arms of government, in all the states, all the parts of the country. You see these parties, they are still operating because there is room for as many as political parties possible to be formed. Also, there is lack of continuity in government. Why we say lack of continuity in government is that if you vote another party into power, that party may discontinue the programs of its predecessor because the programs may not be in line with the manifesto they promised the public. Then, because of this lack of continuity, there will be frequent change of government and frequent change of government with different orientation, which will bring about instability in the political systems. So these are some of the major demerits of multi-party system. And if your country is operating a multi-party system, you see that some of these factors are there. Now that we are through, let's go to our practice section where we're going to use our app, the Examguide. Let's see how it works. We are going to look, we are taking government, we click on government. For year, we select random so that any year can come up. For topics, we did party system. So we select party system. If you look at party system has been highlighted, okay. Now we get started. Now let's answer questions based on what we've done. One party system encourages and often ends up in what? A, freedom of expression. It does not. It's not democratic. Free electoral contest. We didn't talk about it in let's say one party system, but we say that it can lead to dictatorship because you cannot check. There's no opposition to the party in power. Then one of the function, okay, one advantage of two-party system is that it A. Simplify the electoral process. B. Protect the electoral commission. It has nothing to do with protection of electoral commission. Protect the electorate from vote buying. It does not. Ensure winner takes it all. Now, when compared to multi-party system, it simplifies the electoral process. And why we say simplifies is that it is relatively cheaper. Then, one advantage of multi-party system is that educated elites represent the people in represent their people in parliament. It has nothing to do with advantages of multi-party system. Party in power creates employment for all sympathizers. There's nothing to do with multi-party system. Electorate have wide range of choice. Look at this option. Now, this says executive is not restrained by law. It has nothing to do with. So we say that electorate has wider choice in a multi-party system. Then a multi-party system often leads to A. Coalition government. B. Parliamentary government. It has nothing to do with it. Dictatorial government. Unitary government. It has nothing to do with multi-party system. But it can lead to coalition government, where you practice a parliamentary system of government. And in a parliamentary system of government, the party that has majority in the House produces the government, forms the government. Now, at times where you have multi-party system, it may not be easy for one party to have majority in the House. And because of that, two parties can come together to form the government and muster up to that majority seat in the House. Such government, we call it coalition government. Now, let's look at, in order to preserve the liberties of individuals in a country, which are the following systems is encouraged? Is it feudalism? No. It's an ancient system. Is it communism? It's dictatorial. Is it one party? It does not preserve liberty, but multi-party preserve liberty of individuals. One-party system is favorably disposed to A. Rule of law, national cohesion. Yes, we talked about national unity as one of the advantages. And finally, two-party systems of government enable the electorate to A. Participate in government, mobilize favorable opinion for the government, sympathize with the government, choose freely between alternatives, because we say two parties offers alternative to the people or the citizen. Thank you for participating in today's class. You can practice more questions using the Examguide app. The app scores and gives a detailed explanation of all questions at the end of your practice tests. You can learn a particular topic of interest with different modes like study mode, mark mode, and the practice mode. It also has other features that make learning fun. It is a must for all serious students. Download from www.examguide.com if you don't have it yet. See you in the next class. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and share the videos to people that benefit from it. Bye.